Coming to you live at 0600 hours, 52 minutes. It is October 21st, 2021. This is on the Power of Oneness series, chapter 1. And as I stated last time, that was the intro of the Power of Oneness series. But today, I want to talk about things that you as a man can go over, things that you can say you can do for you first. And you may not think you hold the power, but you truly do. So to my brothers and sisters, Grand Rising, Power of Goodness series, what do you think about you? So let's get into it, brothers. What are some major things that you have noticed that significantly in your life that had the most weight on how you interact with the world, the people around you? Can you honestly and truly say the people around you have marked the milestone of how you treat people, how you talk to people, and how you interact with people? Can you truly say that's the case in this era that you live in, the day you was born? Think about it. Now, as an adult or whatever age you are watching this, how have those people around you that interacted with you, that either they nurtured, fostered, or breeded something into you that it's hard for you to change? Now, let's say you do the work. Now, after you've done the work, some people take counseling. As for me, I never was a counsel person. I went to counseling, and you can't say something don't work if you don't do everything that is told of you. So, instance, I can't say nothing don't work. Everything I have put energy into and have done, it have worked. Why? Why did it work? Because I know for a fact, in truth, in all honesty, that everything that I do worked because I worked it. It was me. There was nothing about, I don't, just something coming to me. It came to me because I had to do it. So, instance, if I don't sign up for my LLC, my passport, the job application, or a grant, a loan, or the building to the deed to the house, the insurance company, if I don't put my signature on it, my name saying it's me, that by my writing of my hand, I sing it, I cannot say it don't work. So for people to say something don't work, you would never see. I am very mindful of things I say and do, in which people don't understand. I said it because I thought about it and I know what is coming. People say, don't, you know how you hear, don't think before you think, you talk before you think. That's not true. I thought about it already. It's not rehearsed. It's not real rehearsed. I don't sit there and go through my mind 80 billion times. Should I say? No, I say it because I mean it. There is no hesitation in the way I feel. You making me feel bad. Hey, you making me feel bad. So I want you to think about all the things. Now, you are your first what? Now, it's many things. Remember, this is the power of goodness. I thought goodness can be learned. Then I said, no, it can't. You know, for me, because I was being good to people my whole life. I said, wow. So am I being good in the way people treated you was not a reflection of me. Of my being good in the way people treated me is not a reflection of me. I even was told the word good is abstract. I said, wow, again. I'm getting wow moments at the age of 38. Good is abstract. So you telling me, and here's an example. A man, he's a cop. He come home to his daughter. She see him as a father, the greatest man in the world. He treats her well. He never hits her, never beat on her. He never talked down on her. He always uplifting her. But when he goes outside and interact with the people, he carries out whatever is bothering him to his field of work, in which he's a police. Should the police not still be courteous just because he's a police with a badge and he pulls someone over? You can't be courteous no more. You courteous with your daughter. You stop being kind because you're kind to your daughter, but then tell people, well, they're all not the same. What if they all give me the same example? But boom, all are not the same, because that right there just showed you he treat people two different ways. That is called the act. I don't want to act of goodness. I don't want to act of you being manly. I don't want to act of you being womanly. Are you always I had to learn this since 1982 to 2021. I had to be a man, regardless if I was a young man or I don't call them boys. I say male, a young male born out of the womb. I had to become a man. I had to stand in my manness. Not one day I can take off and say, I don't want to do something for me. Because if I, again, going back, I am my first. If I don't do it, I don't get fed. If I don't do things that help me, I can't, what? Help me. So the power of goodness, I want you to really ponder upon what is good. All my examples of people I interact, which we call relations. Now, people laugh when I say relationship. Well, if you know the word do it over, undo, redo. So you can't say relationship with a person you just met, because it's an undo the cycles of things or whatever you've been through with someone else, and you undo them and you go upon. See, that's what people don't understand about a relationship. You have to undo what you did before. So when I started off, I asked you a question about things you learned from someone else. Now, the ability that you are capable of in goodness, you have to undo them. And as I said, I speak what's on my mind. But first, I have to ask, is that good? And then if we go back and saying good is abstract, well, it's good because in good there is what? Truth, honesty. That is in the power of what? Oneness. So if you check out the power of oneness, good, truth, honesty. I am. So if I am part of those things that's within me, why would I tell someone a lie when it comes to information? But you got to remember, a lot of people work from a realm of negative or quote unquote bad. So the opposite of good is bad. Let me double check. The opposite of good is the opposite of the word good, bad. I don't think we ever looked that up. Have you ever looked that up? I want to say, and truly, honestly, I looked up good, but I never looked at the opposite. Is that what the opposite? The opposite of good is bad, wicked, wickedness, or dis. Now, there you go. Disadvantage. Now, what I do after I do that, I go for the etymology of the word. Now, because we have to remember why thing was created. So if you want to understand who you are, and see, in the last video I did that when I talked about people and how we act. I don't need a psychologist to tell me how I should be. I don't need anything outside of me to tell me how to be within what? Me. So within you, how are you going to tell somebody that don't listen to you, don't talk with you, don't hang out with you, don't know where you live at, don't know what it took for you to get there, can tell you about you? Think about that. Good. Old English, God with a long O, which is good, a good thing, goodness, advantage. A benefit, gift, virtue, property. Property. Whoa. So I'm going to have to sit down one day and go over this. So the word we're going to search out is now disadvantage. That's the etymology of the word. So disadvantage. Late 14th century, disadvantage. Loss, injury, prejudice to what? Interest. So now let's kick this off. So when someone is good, it comes with a good thing, goodness, advantage. You have it a benefit, gift, virtue, property. But as it showed, there's the opposite of good is disadvantage. You lose, loss, injury, prejudice. So they're already the opposite of you. It's meant to be against you. So I'll ask you, and your goodness is only based on a have and have nots. Is your goodness is only based on how your emotions and feeling is. So the example with the police, he may not express it at home, but he goes outside and express it. So the question would be to you, is that police officer good? And the example again, he's around his daughter, he uplifts her, he encourages her. He don't say bad things, he don't use curse words, he don't use derogatory statements. He don't use racism, regardless of his race. He don't say things that his daughter in her mind as a sponge. And I explained this in one of my videos. And I love now my nephew will call me and ask me questions. At first, it used to be he didn't want to be around, but his friends did. He didn't get it. Now he get it. But the example that police doing all this good with his daughter, he goes outside. He treat the civilians to pedestrians as they're nothing because he's wearing a badge. Is he a good person? So real quick, I had another analogy. It left my mind. So please, thank you for coming by. Thank you for joining. Think about the power of goodness. See, my whole determination is to be a guide and to challenge you. Don't listen to me. It's like I told, my cousin. Here you go. I found it. I was talking to my cousin. He came to me. Everybody thought I was a certain religion growing up, or just say religious, because I'm going to put them all to can get, because religion to me will have a advantage of good, because in principle, it practiced good to people. Even in my truth, if I'm somebody asking me something, I am not good to them because my truth, it has a what to them. They think it's a prejudice to their interests of who they are, but it's not, Because the one thing you're not doing, you're not describing who they are. You're describing what? The disadvantage that they gave to you. So what is the disadvantage? See, this is why people say, I need to go to a counselor. No, go to a person that will actually think about what you said and now relay it back to you so you can receive it. If that's the type of counselor or therapist, psychologist you're going to, that's perfect. But when a person make you leave who you are, because it's about you. This is not about what. Now, if I bring my partner in the room, that person have to listen to me and my partner, me and my daughter. That's the case of father and the daughter, or that police officer and the pedestrian. That person, yes, brother, would have to listen to both sides. If that person don't listen to both sides, how do that person get an analogy of who you are? How do they know your goodness? So now, so my cousin, he asked me, I said the word nigga to him, not calling him that, because I don't use that word in that sense. He said, I remember growing up, basically in so many words, growing up, you didn't say that. I said, you know why? Because I'm a role model. He said, yeah, he kind of agreed on that. I said, I always wanted to be an example to you. I said, think about what I said and did around you. Even then, practicing and studying to be a Christian, I did not stop being who I was. In the light of me, it's funny, before I came a Christian, I already inhaled what? Good. So when I hear practices and principles and principalities on being good, that was the easiest thing, because of my goodness, when I got there, I was already being good. So my mind was what was my good? Help. So my help on good, I was ready to help. I didn't require what? The disadvantage. The opposite of good is a disadvantage, a loss, an injury, a prejudice to interest. Superiority, I didn't say that word. And this, hold on real quick, this. The form of a Latin origin, lack of, opposite of. I didn't come with a this. I didn't come to be opposite of what was trying to happen. So if you in a relationship, remember read, you can look it up, etymology of the word read, in relationship, bring together, ship means to go forward, to move forward. I was moving forward. I was doing what I was trying to do with that person based on us and based on me, because I am my first what? In this case, I'm my first love. So with talking to my cousin, I say, you know why I didn't use the word nigga when you were young? And Grand Rising, Miss Cherry. And the reason I didn't use that word nigga when they was young, because you know a child mind is a sponge. They're going to absorb. So now if I was working from a place of good, nigga is not a place of a word. It shows a prejudice. It shows a different meaning. It shows I'm going to treat you bad. It's bad. The opposite of good is bad, disadvantage. And the word dis, again, is lack of, the opposite. So that means I will lack something of my cousin. So, but I also told them I referenced the word because of the underlining what was going on outside when we was talking. I said they was acting as an IGGA. See, I don't even care. I don't know a lot of the words. Like, I met people, this is off topic real quick, and we want to talk about good. No, this is not off topic. This is on topic, because if we talk about racial issues, I don't expect somebody to understand what I've been through. But now here's a common phrase that I hear from a person. I'm born in America. Remember, we were born in America, and I don't know if other people experience this to their face. I've been called the nigger, and I've also been told to go back to Africa. Now, if you want to say prejudice to interest, isn't that prejudice? Isn't that bias? So if good opposite is bad, disadvantage, wickedness was not his word at a disadvantage to you? How are two people born in the same country been here? That guy might not have even been, I'm 38. That guy might have been 31. So I'm alive naturally on this earth with him and her, because women have said it to me, and my neighbors above me, which you can hear them, and they directed it because you can say your name and then say the word, which I don't fight people and want to hurt somebody over. But it made me think now, like, And so with him saying that word, would you call him bad or good? My understanding would be bad. He took something that had nothing to do with a disadvantage, because the opposite of good is bad. And another word you can use is like it's a disadvantage. His prejudice to interest. So I made sure my interest to my cousin was in prejudice. Right. You're called various of names. And what I've learned real quick, and I'm going to touch on have a topic. I'm kind of done with racial issues, but it seems as words that we utilize towards each other is not deemed as prejudice, bias, or have racial undertones. I find that very ironic in society, that sailing somebody to go back to Africa, calling a nigger, monkey, or charcoal, burnt French fry, African booty scratchers, and different things. And that was the thing that we had when we was younger. I tried not to enter into those realms. Why? Because it's based on a goodness in me. So overall, what I'm saying, you are your first good. You are your first example of what you want to see. I don't care what your mother and father done. Because there's a maturation process of things you do. Now they say it takes 7 days to get rid of habit, another 7. It takes 21 days to get rid of the habit altogether. 7 days good, 7 days not, then the other 7 days. So with that being said, ponder around upon what you would call good. Being honest is not bad. It's not a disadvantage. It helps. So I know if a person is treating me not great, speak up. You don't need this great empowerment to speak up, just as in my channel. I appreciate my ancestors for fighting or standing up civilly. And this is my civil service, to talk and speak to young men, regardless of what organizations I am or I was in, but I have no affiliation. Thank you to organizations for the services they are providing, but affiliation as in my good. This is my good. Overall, the good of me. I hope you thought about this the whole time, the good of you, the good of me. I never wanted to kill someone, and I'm never going to go to prison or jail, and I'm never going to be out of me within who I am. So that being said, people told me, don't say you'll never go to prison or jail. I'm never going to prison or jail. So you manifest that. So I'm going to be a thousandaire one day on my terms. See, you may say millionaire. I don't think it's bad if you make I'm not even a money person. So making 200,000 a year is not bad. I think to raise a family, all it takes is 50,000 a year when you live with me. So right now, I'm saving money and doing things. So I make a certain amount of money being single. I still go out and have fun. I travel. I go to places. How I'm able to save 10 to 20,000 a year out of my 50,000 I make a year. That's an example. However much you make, you can make it. You can save at least 20% of that every year as a single person. So about time, they'll say, I haven't met nobody. So that means somebody in 4 years, I saved 20,000. That's $80,000. That's good for my child. $80,000 for a child over a 7-year period is, I think 80. If you have 80,000 sitting there for a child, how long you think that's gonna last? That's gonna last enough time. You know why that's gonna last? Because I managed to save 20,000 a year or close enough. That's the good. There's no disadvantage in saving. You see how that? See how I just correlated that. See, a lot of people will miss that because you're looking at me. Listen to what I said. To raise a child, if I save 20,000 a year as a single person, and I birth a child, get married to my woman, for that child alone, how much you think 80,000 will last? Because to birth a child, it costs over $12,000. So if we do some type of math here, let's do it real quick. You have $80,000. Take away, let's say, break even 12,000. You have $68,000 in a 12-month cycle for a child, or a month-to-month cycle. How much do you spend on a child if you count food? So as a baby, formula is not cheap, but within each month, I would say you spend $200. Well, you won't do 200 takeaway. You got to do 68,000 takeaway. No, I'm going fast, too fast. 12,000. 12 months. No, okay, hold on. 200 times 12. I don't know what my mind was doing. Let's do that real quick. 200 times 12. That's 2,400. So you have 2,400. 2,400 take away 68,000. Right now, you have 6,600. So over a time period, so let's take away 2,400. That's the next year, because that child was a baby. Take away 2,400 again the next year. That's 7. Why is adding? Oh, I see. 6,000. Take away 2,400. All right. Now take away 2,400. Now 2,400. One more year, take away 2,400. That's $58,000. So now think about on an average how much on a but I want you to rock with that. And so if you think about things that's going on in the world and what you're doing, that's good. There's no disadvantage of saving that money. And then now you got to think, what if you got that raise? What is your business kicked off? The child not even born yet. So now you're able to allocate more funds to that account for that child, that 68,000. And we did 2,400 after they're born. Now they're not born, and let's say it great works out. And now you're making 60,000 a year. So you making 60 or 70,000 a year. You don't even need 100. Remember, I'm talking about. I'm like 50,000. So we started at 50,000, but you save $68,000 for 4, 5, 6 years. 2, 4, 6, 8. You save actually 80,000, but we're gonna go and we're gonna be kind of more. I don't know if people even that realistic, because a lot of people don't talk about saving, they have to talk about spending in the digital coin. I don't know what's people bank account. I don't know if people leave money in their bank accounts, or is that just in their stock account or their digital account that money is there and that exists. So I don't really know. So on your own accord, I want you to take the time out and to find out what is good to you, what is goodness. And if everything you have that's good, it's an advantage. It's about care. No, we're not even gonna use those words, because I see in this era, Yes, it's advantage, it's a benefit, a gift, a virtue, and property. See, the property, you just saved all that money. So to tell someone that's good that you are not eligible because you don't make 120,000, you just missed out on a goodness, a gift, a benefit. So what I say unto one, I say unto all. It's your path, it's your journey, it's your choice. Choose wisely. What is the nature of you? So in the power of goodness, what makes you good? You only can answer that to yourself. You don't have to explain that to no one. For you, by you. But long as you work within you and you know it's good. I don't mean out there breaking windows, stealing and robbing people because you're hungry. That's not a sign of goodness. There's multiple things I can do. So if you think goodness is doing bad, putting people at a disadvantage, putting buildings, break a window, that's disadvantage to that building to keep the people inside warm. If you take paper clips from a work area and you keep doing it, they got to keep buying $5. So imagine a company buying paper clips, $5. How that become money. And this was the saddest thing I heard. The brother that people listen to on YouTube said, "F the man if you talking about on a date you have to spend a lot of money, or money shouldn't be a factor." But the advantages of my benefit of my money is for us to enjoy with a person that I'm supposed to enjoy it with. So, but if my goodness is only based on my utility and my have and have not, how is that advantage? How is my good a gift? How is my good even a virtue? And it even shows the etymology of good. It's a benefit and property. My benefit of good is going to benefit all. So that cop that treat his daughter one way and go outside treat people other way, he has a disadvantage. So overall, to me, and my answer, if you listen to this, go back to the beginning, I asked the question about the cop and his daughter and how he treat people. That's not a good cop. That's to me. Maybe you might find good, but if I'm using the power of goodness, I can't treat my daughter good, encourage her, and treat her well. I don't care. My part as a person is not the dangers of outside. It's how I carry me outside. You have a great day. Stay hydrated. Wintertime, stay warm. There's foods you can eat. I'm going to talk more about that and just being a little healthier this season. And I hope for all the souls that was lost, give a moment of silence. I did 38 seconds for my age, and rest their souls. Within goodness, you can accomplish anything you want. Don't take on the opposite of good, bad, wickedness, disadvantage. You will accomplish less. Your words may sound bad to someone, but you are, if it's coming from a good place. To them, it's going to sound bad because you are your first. It's on your own accord, not their accord. They describe you as they see you, but they don't describe you as you are. So on your own accord, and you are your first person to see good, recognize, identify, file it, compartmentalize, and ask yourself, is I'm being good or I'm acting good? Thank you, Miss Cherry. Thank you, Brother David. Y'all have a great day. You too, have a great day. Thank you. You're part of the family. I love everybody. And I learned the goodness of me. It was never based off of other people and what they did for me. But the disadvantage was I don't talk about the bad side, just as the power. So check out the Power of Oneness series when I bring up good, mutual, love, respect, the different chapters. I put chapters because one day I got to be on my P's and Q's. I want to write a book. So I appreciate you. I thank you. And please share, join the family, and maybe that's, and if you have any question, go to my email. I have Twitter. The Twitter is in my caption. And if you want me, I share your videos. If you got videos, I put it in my caption for people to see. I highlight it and different things and all. And I do, and I'm a person that check out everybody's channel. I learned this in my goodness, which I had to learn. People are who they are. I'm not there to change them, but I do allow their space, their space of who they are to be revealed. Now, sometimes I might say, I don't go there with it. But besides that, y'all have a great day. Thank you once again.